Hello guys and Assalamualaikum. Hello to all yang sudi masuk stream live kami. So, kami dari Kelab Wellness HSK 222 tahun 2021 dari cawangan UiTM Seremban 3. Di sini kami ingin orang kata memberi info dan memberi maklumat dan serta membantu tentang to lose weight easy secara atas talian lah. As you guys know that we right now tengah menghadapi, we battle with COVID-19 kan. So everything atas talian sebab SOP. So dengan tujuan kami di sini adalah untuk menambah ilmu ladies and gentlemen yang dalam ni, dalam pemahaman on how to lose weight easy. Ingat easy, not fast. Ingat, berat badan dengan mudah. Ingat mudah, bukan cepat. So kita akan akan diterangkan oleh panel-panel dan dibarisi oleh panel-panel yang orang kata berkaliber. Berkaliber. Diorang tahu apa diorang buat. Yang pertama adalah Bukhari Omar, panel pertama. Dia seorang pelajar FSR, diploma dalam pengajian sukan. Dia memang terkenal dengan sukan larian long distance. Dia laju-laju kantai dan bola keranjang, nampak tu. And panel seterusnya Alif Hilman, juga seorang pelajar FSR, diploma pengajian sukan. Dia sukan bola sepak and hobi dia saja workout. Hobi dia workout. Nampak? And panel seterusnya dia sukan dia olahraga. Dia ada 6 adik-beradik. Tapi Amir ni okey. Yang kita tahu dia pun fit, dia pun suka bersukan. So kita sekarang ni dibarisi oleh panel-panel yang mantap. So kita akan macam biasa, setiap program kita buat event, kita akan baca doa dulu. Okay. So doa permulaan. Okay. Amir baca doa.
Assalamualaikum. Unfortunately
So,
kita punya pembaca doa kita tak ada line hari ni. Jadi saya akan gantikan beliau lah, insyaAllah. Okay, jadi sama, insyaAllah. Al-Fatihah.
InsyaAllah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم إنك خلاق العظيم، إنك سميع العليم، إنك غفور رحيم، إنك رب العرش العظيم، إنك البر والجواد الكريم. Ya Allah, Engkau yang mempunyai segala kepujian, Engkaulah yang berhak menerima segala kepujian, Engkaulah yang berhak menerima segala kesyukuran, Engkaulah yang memiliki segala pemerintahan. Di tangan Engkau segala kebajikan, kepada Engkaulah kembali segala urusan. Allahumma ya Karim ya Rahim, ya fa'an lima yurid. Rabbana alaika tawakkalna wa ilaika adabna wa ilaikal masir. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Amin. Doa. So kita lose weight easy. Table of contents. So di sini kita orang ada macam nak terangkan tentang is loss, is fat as fuel. Dan ketiga kita ada incorporating weight training. Dan yang keempat kita akan terangkan tentang benefits. Keempat-empat ni akan diterangkan oleh panel-panel kita. So panel pertama, sila terangkan dengan poin pertama kita, how fat is lost.
Okay, Assalamualaikum semua. Saya I'll be explaining on how fat is lost. Okay, I will be mixing English and DM, so if there is any terms that you guys would like to ask, you can ask in the comment section and our moderator will forward the questions to me. Right, so first and foremost, how fat is lost, right? So what we understand by our fat is like primarily it's the fats on our skin, or the scientifically correct term is subcutaneous fat. Okay, so fat is basically stored as energy. So we have three main source of energy source, which is from fat, carbohydrates, and also protein. So the primary source of energy is from carbs. Okay, from carbs, which is like rice, sugar. Those things are carbs. So everything in our activity, we are most likely going to use carbs as our primary source of energy. And fat coming in second place is another energy source that we use as a substitute to our carbohydrate source. And the third is protein, which is less used, but will be used when we are deficient in terms of the primary and secondary source I mentioned earlier, which was carbohydrates and fat. Okay, so our body converts these fats into usable energy for our muscles and tissues. This, when we use these fats, so it will shrink and these cells will make us appear more slim. Right. So what actually happens to our fat? Where do they go? Okay, so our fat, one of the ways fat is used by, used by generating heat to maintain our body temperature. Okay, so it basically means that for our body to maintain its heat, okay, our body normal body temperature is I suppose it's 37, 36, I forgot. Okay, so that is by the use of fat. Not just by me talking to you guys, sitting around, I'm using fat as my primary source of energy. Okay, so what happens to those fat? It turns into water and also carbon dioxide. So basically, every time I'm breathing, I'm letting out my fat, but it is at a very small amount. I could say like, you guys must be thinking like, then why am I not? I'm supposed to be slim by not just by breathing, right? But it doesn't always mean like that because you are only using very small amount of fat. Okay. Another way is through a urine by when you go to the toilet and excrete. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, now we are moving on to calorie deficit. Still on the same topic. So calorie deficit means that you are consuming fewer calories than you actually need by the name itself, deficit. So how do you know this? So you can calculate through using calculators online. There are a lot of websites actually these days that could just enter your daily activities, how much you burn, how much your energy expenditure and everything. There's also app trackers these days on the App Store, Play Store. Also, maybe you could use a little bit of common sense and see where your metabolic rate is at. Like me myself, I could be eating a certain amount. Okay, like masa pagi kan, let's say I eat bread, lepas tu tengah hari I eat rice, nasi, anything. But my weight is not either increasing nor is it decreasing. So that is my basal metabolic rate, means kat tengah kat situ. So if I'm eating more than that, maybe let's say I have some cake or any junk food, I might increase my weight a little bit. And if I eat fewer than that, I might lose it. Okay, basic logic. Right, so by that, you need to create a calorie deficit by either eating less calories, which means like just now, maybe I could cut the true portion what I was eating, and also by maybe burning more calories through exercise. Also a combination of the two, which is the best way. Okay, so how do you eat less? And also how do you burn and consume less calories? So one of the ways is to eat less or burn more calories, as mentioned earlier, and also eat a variety of foods. If you just focus on one type of food, if you just try to cut out rice, you are most likely going to hit a plateau. A plateau means like this, imagine about the limit where you can't exceed more and improve yourself and hit a wall basically. That's the limit. All right. Besides that, you should eat food that are from fat and also slow digesting foods. What I mean by slow digesting foods are food that takes longer time for your body to metabolize. As mentioned, I was talking about metabolism, right? Metabolism means your rate of how your body burns the energy that you consume, the calories that you consume. Okay, so people with higher metabolism means they tend to, expend more energy. They use more energy source just to do the daily activities more than anyone else. Okay, and vice versa. Okay, besides consuming fat and also slow digesting foods, you should not be consuming your calories through drinks. What I mean by that is drinks that have calories, such as sweetened beverages, like myself. I'm guilty for this. I myself this afternoon, just now I had for lunch, I drank Milo Ice. And so Milo Ice ni, as you know, it's sugary. It has those processed sugar and everything that makes me, there's calories in that. So what happens when I drink that? I consume calories, but at the same time, tak kenyang pun. And also, what does that mean? Nanti bila I'm feeling hungry, nanti rasa nak makan lagi benda lain kan. Padahal tadi dah ada kalori dalam air tadi. So dari situ like I'm consuming more calories than I am supposed to. Okay. That's what it means by don't drink your calories. Sama macam nowadays people are trying to eat healthy kan, and also buat juice and everything. So bila macam juice ni, especially you take out the fibers, right? You're only consuming the sugar inside, fructose. Like you got orange juice, then you take out the pulp and everything. You're just consuming the juice. Right there, and then you are already consuming sugar lah. So next up is you have to limit processed foods, like junk foods and everything, because these foods contain not just the bad processed chemicals and everything, but also these foods are usually high in fat and these unwanted calories that we want to minimize and to get into that calorie deficit itself. Okay. Besides that, kan tadi saya dah mention pasal foods that actually make you full, right? Macam and lambat untuk nak digest. So by that, you should be considering to consume things like fruit, veggies, and things high in fiber. High in fiber, think like buah, sayur, and also something like oats, those stuffs. That will actually fill your stomach, but actually low in calories. This stuff takes more time for your body to actually digest and convert into energy. So you'll feel much fuller for longer time lah. Lagi lama rasa kenyang situ. So for anyone starting, nak start to eat healthy and get into this calorie deficit thing, you might want to try that out. Some people, if consuming vegetables is hard for you, go fruits and anything that suits you. Yeah. All right. So the last one is, for example, you burn 2,000 calories a day, but only consume 1,500. You'll be in a calorie deficit, right? So that is basically how much you want to cut from your daily calories. But going from 2,000 to 1,500 could be drastic for some people. So at this point, maybe you should try shedding maybe 100 calories, 200 calories from food itself. So how are you supposed to burn more calories from that? Exercise. From one exercise, you could burn already 300. So in a day, you have already cut around like 300 calories from food itself, from your consumption of food, and another daripada doing exercise itself lah. Okay, we'll get on the exercise later on. All right. What's next? Okay, for women, on a standard basic guideline, you should never consume anything below 1,200 calories a day. So what does 1,200 calories looks like a day? So maybe kalau you are eating like biryani rice, you could go anywhere between 300 to 450 calories. So 1,200 is slightly just above 2 plates of biryani a day with some added stuffs in between. So if you are eating anywhere below that, it could have side effects on your health and detrimental risk on health. Okay, so that said, it is easier and more sustainable to eat less than just exercise. So you may not have the motivation, for someone who is living a sedentary life, especially as right now we are having a lockdown, right? We don't have the privilege to go and exercise every day, so we are trying to make the best of what we have. So it's much easier to control your food than actually going out and have a sweat, right? Okay, so it's recommended to engage aerobic and also both aerobic and resistance training. So the bottom line of this is that consume fewer calories than you actually expend, or the words use. Also eliminate sugary processed foods and those stuff. And also consume fruits, veggies, and home cooked food so that it could better track of the calories that they consume. All right. So that is one thing about diet itself from one side. So moving on to the next slide. This is my topic. Okay, how to use fat as fuel. Okay, before we move on to this topic, is there any question? The moderator, you might want to open questions to the floor. If they have any question, I would like to answer. Or maybe I could just continue and go with my next topic. Is there any? Any questions from the floor? Weh, Dam, tanya lah, diorang ada soalan ke tak? Aduh.
Kalau korang ada bawah tu, sebab panel kita pertama tadi dah terangkan macam mana nak calorie deficit, macam mana kalau beginner nak start calorie deficit, apa itu fat. So panel kita pertama dah terang kata cukup lengkap. Saya sendiri yang tak tahu, saya dah tahu. Terus tahu. Kurang sikit, nak tahu sikit lebih, nak dengar balik, komen kat bawah tu. Macam mana nak how fat is calorie deficit ni. Panel Bukharioma boleh sambung saya rasa. Dah ada ramai dah tanya soalan ni.
Alright, so there was a question that from the chat itself here, that was selected by our host here. So pork and fish, which one has more protein? Unfortunately, that is not my, something I could answer because I don't consume pork myself, but as much as I know, it has more calories. It is high in protein, but if I'm an athlete myself who consumes pork and these type of meat, I personally won't take it because it has more detrimental effects in terms of the calories and also fat it has in terms of health itself. Yes. Okay. Other question. Is there any effect on health?
Panel Bu, ada satu lagi soalan.
Yang mana ya? Oh, Syed Ridwan, my man.
Is there any effect on health without taking off your food intake when we just exercise?
Our food intake. Our food intake. On health. Taking care of our food intake when we just exercise. Yes, there is health effect if you're not taking care of the things that you consume. Besides the 3 things that I mentioned earlier, which is fat, carbohydrates, and protein, in terms of macronutrients, there are other things that you must consider in terms of micronutrients. Micronutrients are the smaller ones, which are like vitamins, minerals, and all those stuff. In other words, like let's say like sodium. Sodium is a It's a type of micronutrient, right? So if you are taking too much of these micronutrients, right, these stuff without control and portion, it could have diverse effects on your health. Maybe not in the short term acutely, but maybe chronically. You could get hypertension and all those stuff, which in the long run is not something you would like to suffer. Right, I guess I just take 2 questions for this first topic, and I shall continue with my second topic, how to use fat as fuel. Okay, moving on. How to use fat as fuel. Slide, please. All right. Okay. So fat, as I said, it provides the main fuel source for long duration, low to moderate intensity exercise. So you must think of endurance sports lah, macam marathon, you know, larian jarak jauh macam ni, mentas desa when you were in school and stuff like that lah. So how is that? So bila you are talking about using fat as fuel, you must think about low intensity lah and moderate intensity. In other words, you are not expending too much effort. Macam santai-santai je, faham tak? Like you're relaxed, low effort, and not trying to make your heart rate go like crazy and make you feel that pain in your chest, right? That's the thing that you want to think of. And when you think of low intensity, we are talking about using fat instead of carbs. How is that? Because when just like I mentioned in previous slide, when we are just sitting around, being sedentary, you know, just talking to our friends, using the computer, laptop, anything, playing our phone, we are using fat actually, you know, we are using fat just to go daily life, to conduct our daily activities, right? Because at low intensity like that, we are actually using only fat. There's very minimum amount of carbohydrates used there. So when we are exercising, we are trying to limit our effort there so that we are not exceeding too much that we go into that state of using carbs. Okay. So this thing is known as the aerobic system lah. We have 2 systems, aerobic and also anaerobic. I wouldn't like to go too technical because not everyone here is of sports science background here, and not everyone might understand what I'm trying to explain. So I would use layman terms as much as possible lah. Macam tu kan. Aerobic ni basically you're using oxygen lah. Kita guna oxygen and also fat. Okay, and aerobic by using carbohydrate. So of course lah, sekarang kita nak lose fat kan. So we are going to try to use aerobic system as much as possible. Okay. So how is that? So in other words, macam ni, it says run or cycle a slow pace to where you'd be able to maintain a full conversation. Okay, why I'm using the run and cycle punya example here, because not everyone can run. So if cycling is your thing, try to do cycling. It would be much easier for those, especially if you are overweight. If you are overweight and you are running, it might not be the best option out there because it will be hard on your knees and also your joints and everything, right? Okay, so to get into that level, so the indicator is that you could maintain a full conversation. In other words, breathe perfectly normal. Okay, contoh lah, I myself, right, I'm running with Alif, kan? Okay. Aku tengah, maaf ya, saya berlari dengan Alif, right? Running with Alif on a jog, and I could actually talk to him. Alif, kau dah siap assignment blah blah blah, and blah. I'm not actually guessing myself, tak tercungap tau. Kalau dah mula tercungap, you're most likely pushing too hard, that is already going to a high intensity, and you are actually using carbohydrate energy. Macam nasi orang makan tu kau punya sumber tenaga. We wouldn't want that. We want to actually use all the fats in our body. So think of going easy, jog as slow as you can. If you are trying to feel okay, maybe masa awal tadi rasa okay je boleh cakap. Now you are actually gasping for air, right? So at that point, it's best to slow down. And maybe if you can't slow down anymore, just walk. No? Make it easy for yourself. Low intensity, low effort. All right.
Venerable, can I ask you a question?
Okay, no problem.
macam swimming. Kalau swimming,
Yeah, swimming is the same thing, man. If you want to swim, that would be just as great. But swimming is good, especially for those with high, I mean, those who are overweight. But not everyone has the privilege of having a pool right now, and especially in this COVID-19 situation right now, right? In the lockdown and everything, that is one. But after this, maybe you could go to the pool, and maybe because swimming, not everybody has the skill set to actually swim. And also, while swimming, you are breathing at a certain tempo. So that is another skill that you must master yourself in terms of controlling the intensity to make it low intensity. Okay. Banyak pula soalan. So if you want to best utilize fat as your source of energy here, go anywhere in between 30 minutes or higher. If you are doing the aerobic exercise macam tadi, run, cycle, swim, low intensity. And so lastly, in terms of consumption, your diet, you must consume more of fat than actually going to consume more carbs. But you're actually trying to train your body to use fat as a primary energy. Because by default lah, everyone, semua orang, you and I sendiri pun, memang kita akan gunakan carbohydrate, our primary source of energy. So we are actually trying to train our body to use all these fats. So diet tu kita consume more on the fat side and cut on the carbs. Okay. So yeah, I think that's all about how to actually trigger fat as our primary source of energy. So I'm opening the floor once again to anyone that wants to ask regarding the topic that I just talked about while waiting for our next host.
anyone want to ask about how to use fat? Semua tu.
Okay. So there is question from our bestie here, Gigi Najiha Hayati. Okay,
Gigi.
so what is the best duration if someone do high intensity exercise to break down of fat? Okay, so just now I was explaining about low intensity, but she wants to know about what if I do high intensity exercise to break down fat. Okay, when doing high intensity exercise, maybe not the best way to actually burn fat lah. Like high intensity, I'm suggesting of doing 100 meters bouts. Okay, kali 100 meter, walk back. Then do 100 meter, walk back. Those intervals, right? Those are not the best lah, because you're actually consuming, you're using carbohydrates as a primary source of energy during the workout. But after your workout, because you are using a lot of your muscles to actually metabolize energy, right, as source of energy. After the workout, you will have an afterburn effect. Your metabolic rate will increase high. And in that term, okay, let's say macam petang tadi kan, I was dari pukul 6 sampai 7, I was doing this high intensity workout, right, masa tu. So my metabolic rate, let's say from 8 malam all the way ke 10 malam, at that time, it will use a lot more fat at that time. And okay, let's get back to the question. I actually lupa apa soalan dia tadi. What's the best duration Okay, sebabkan high intensity, you are most likely going to do it only sekejap lah, macam less than 30 minutes. 15 to 25 is already more than enough lah. These are especially for those yang tak cukup masa, you know. Right now the hype that is going around is jump rope kan, skipping kan. That is also considered, you can say it's high intensity if you are doing high intensity. If you are like lompat biasa, relax, it could be moderate to low. As I said just now, the best indicator is how you talk lah. Like, can you hold a conversation while doing it or not? Or in other words, like I myself, I have a fitness watch right here. It can tell my heart rate. So I have to maintain a certain heart rate lah to tell my intensity at that time. Yeah. So there is another question from our on the floor, okay? Okay, my man, Shameh, he asked me, what is the best for endurance, swimming or running? Right here, we are actually talking about how to lose weight, right? But this guy asking about swimming or running. Mantap kau lah, I can answer. It's also actually a good question lah, because it relates, right? So, macam mana? Swimming and running, mana yang lagi bagus? Actually, both are very good. But if you, in the long run, swimming itself, it's good in, there's a lower chances of getting injury. But in terms of endurance, you must do both lah. You must do both. There's no ultimate exercise for just one thing. But when swimming, you are actually using both legs and also arms, right, to assist in the movement. So there is more full body lah compared to running. Okay. I hope that answers your question lah. Okay. Oh, 10 minutes already. Okay, I guess that's all the question. Now, I will give to the moderator to proceed with our next speaker, our next panel. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you untuk for panel Bukhari Omar for the explanation tentang how to use fat as fuel. Sorry. So next kita akan teruskan dengan incorporating weight training yang akan diterangkan oleh panel seterusnya, Alif Ilman. So Alif, you can take over daripada sini. Orang mesti nak tahu tentang apa tu incorporating weight training. So maybe panel Alif boleh terang-terang sikit, share orang kata. Forward message.
Right. All right, thank you, Adam. So we move to the next slide, which is incorporating weight training. Most people often think that cardio is the only exercise that can help them lose weight. But the truth is, you need to incorporate in order to get the best result. So what is the benefit of weight training and how it can help you to lose weight? Okay, first of all, if you do weight training, it can increase your resting metabolic rate. Okay, before we go to the, okay, we move to the next slide, please. Okay, can we move to the next slide? Are you hear me?
Next slide, Jan.
Dengar. Penali boleh terus.
Okay, sorry, we have some internet problem. Okay, so doing cardio and weight training will lead to the better result. So why? Okay, because all right. Can we continue? So incorporate weight training. So weight training, it will increase your resting metabolic rates. So before we explain regarding resting metabolic rate, first of all, we need to know how calorie will be burned. So calorie will be burned by metabolism process. Metabolism is a process where your body convert everything that you eat and drink into energy. So during this complex process, calorie in food and beverages will combine with oxygen in order to release the energy that your body need in order to function. So even at rest, your body need energy in order to breathing, circulating blood, adjusting hormone levels, and also uh, grow and repair the cell tissue. Okay, and then we go back to the benefits of weight training tadi. So dia akan increase kita punya resting metabolic rate. So apa benefits dia? Benefits dia adalah di mana even though kita rehat, dalam keadaan rehat, our body also can burn the calories. So it is very important in order to lose weight. Okay, rather than people who have low resting metabolic rate, badan dia tidak akan membakar lemak semasa dalam keadaan rehat. So dekat sini kita dapat tahu yang orang yang mempunyai low resting metabolic rate, dia akan put more effort in order to lose weight. Because people who have a high resting metabolic rate, dia tidak perlu mengeluarkan banyak effort sebanyak yang low resting metabolic rate people yang kena ada lah. So people who have high resting metabolic rate akan lebih cepat untuk lose weight. Okay, we move to the next slide. Then okay, other than weight training, there are few factors that affect metabolism. For example, muscle mass. So it is because muscle requires more energy to function than fat. So the more muscles tissue you carry, the more energy your body need just to exist. Okay, second factors is age. As you get older, your muscles will decreases and your fats will increase. So it will slow down your metabolism. So bila you meningkat usia, you akan calorie burning akan lebih perlahan daripada youngsters lah. So, and then genetics. Some families have higher metabolism than others. So kalau you perasan, some of us ada yang macam dia punya keluarga semua chubby. So it is because the genetic factors. And one more thing, gender. So men generally have faster metabolism than women. Sebab apa? Because men tend to have more muscles and men have less fat rather than women. So it will fasten the metabolism. Okay. So before I end my part, I want to say something in order to change the perspective regarding the weight training. Okay, girls, kalau when it comes to weight training, they often think that they will be muscular. So and then they choose to not to do weight training because they afraid of being muscular. Okay, first of all, you are not going to be muscular as what you think. Okay, even you pernah nampak perempuan, female athletes who have a muscular body, first of all, it is because they are professional athletes, which is they have been trained for about 5 years and above. And also, it is because they train really hard in order to get that muscles. So, and one more thing, the reason why those female athletes get those muscle is because they use testosterone booster. So they use testosterone booster in order to get those muscles, because in order to build muscle, you need to have a high testosterone level. You need to have a high testosterone level, so that those female athletes take the testosterone booster in order to boost their testosterone level. So for girls out there, you don't have to worry about weight training, because you are not going to be muscular as what you think. So it is okay to do weight training, because weight training will help you to reduce weight, and it will give the better and fast result. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay. Korang semua dapat dengar tadi dengan jelas. So, panel Alip basically explain about the benefits of incorporating weight training. So, yelah, takkan kita macam buat cardio je everyday. Kita kena ada weight training yang akan lead to a better results and can increase our resting metabolic rate. Kita punya metabolism And panel Alip also ada terangkan tentang factors that affect metabolism. So ramai yang tak tahu, mungkin tak tahu sekarang ni baru dapat tahu tentang factors yang ni. Faham tak? Bahawa pentingnya metabolism yang kita perlu tahu pasal faktor-faktor dia. So yang first yang saya dapat tahu tadi, saya sendiri dapat tadi muscle mass, umur kita, genetik, even gender pun can be one of the factors yang affect metabolism ni Macam lelaki lagi banyak muscle. Tak ada gurau-gurau, yang tu gurau. Tapi cuma yang saya dapat tahu yang tadi tu memang Panel Alip terangkan dengan ringkas dan padat. So if korang ada soalan, Q&A jap macam biasa, comment down below. And Panel Alip insyaAllah boleh jawab soalan-soalan korang. Alright. So ada soalan daripada Trisha. What is the best way for people with high metabolism to gain their weight? Panel Alip boleh tolong jawab ke?
Yeah, sure. What is your question?
The question from Daisy Trisha. What is the best way for people with high metabolism to gain their weight?
Can you repeat the question?
What is the best way for people with high metabolism?
Can you repeat the question?
What is the best way for people with high metabolism to gain their weight? Macam mana orang tinggi tambah berat badan? Jawab Panel Alip. Saya yakin boleh. Korang tanya lagi, spam komen kalau nak tanya pasal apa benda.
Adam. Adam. Sorry Adam.
Okay.
Type boleh Adam soalan tu?
Oh boleh. Ada dekat private comment. Private chat kita naik atas sikit. Atas sikit.
Mana? Apa soalan dia?
Soalan dia daripada Daisy Trisha. What is the best way for people with high metabolism to gain their weight? Untuk tambah metabolism tinggi. So dia nak tanya ni nak paling senang.
So in order
The best way lah
to gain weight.
to gain weight.
So first of all, so as we generally know, it is probably because her genetics. Perempuan kan yang tanya ni.
Daisy Trisha, perempuan saya ni.
Okay, it is because genetics dia probably like dia memang ada metabolism yang sangat tinggi. So it is normal for me personally. I'm the weight person, which is and then I've been struggling in order to gain weight. So what I do is, first of all, you need to know your calories intake. So in order to gain weight, you have to calorie surplus. So what Buhari ada mention pasal calorie deficit. In order to gain weight, you need to calorie surplus. You need to you need to eat more than what you used to eat. Okay? Sebab badan kita personally yang high metabolism, kita akan cepat bakar even though kita tak buat physical activities pun. So even though kita tidur pun kita akan bakar banyak calories. So that's kadang kita rasa macam okay, kita banyak makan but we are not gaining weight. It is because we are not eat more. So you have to eat more. Eat more, it means not you have to eat more and frequently eat more. Means you have to eat tea. Okay? Usually we just eat like breakfast, lunch and dinner, right? So you need to try to add supper, to add what we call it, I forgot the name, brunch and also snack. Yeah, so try to eat more and frequently. So you need to know your eating schedule so that it will help you. But back to the principle, you need to eat more and more. Sometimes you have to yeah, people who have a high metabolism is your body is easy to burn the food that you eat. So you have to eat more and more. That's all you need to do lah in order to gain weight. Yeah, I hope it helps.
So maknanya macam makan portion yang banyak kali, banyak kali. Okay. Memang korang kalau high metabolism tu makan banyak-banyak. Memang best makan banyak-banyak ni. So ada satu lagi soalan. Penyalip boleh jawab, masih boleh ke? Masih boleh.
Yes.
Boleh beri komen lagi So kita ada insan yang menanya training and free weight training. Efek yang berbeza je in weight training and free weight training. Boleh. Okay. Okay, Benalik sambung.
Boleh.
Soalan dari Syed.
Free weight training means body weight exercise lah.
Body weight exercise.
Okay, what is the different effect in metabolism in weight training and free weight training? So, okay, free weight training it refers to body weight exercise. So it's same. Your metabolism also can be increased because you are being a physical active. So when you are in physical active, your metabolism will increase. Okay, it's simple. It's tak kisahlah you you buat weight training ke, body weight training ke, body weight training also consider as resistance training. Sebab bebanan berat kita pun, badan kita pun dah berat. So, yep, it can increase your metabolism as well. So yeah.
Might need to add up one point about just now. What's Daisy Trisha's question? Is it? I would like to add some points to her question just now. She was asking on how to increase weight for people with high metabolism. So in terms of just now, Alif was talking about how you should calorie surplus and eat more. That is the most like basic thing. And how to eat more. There's this one principle that I have learned myself with a bodybuilding coach that taught me about like if you want to bulk yourself, just keep eating. As long as you are not feeling hungry anymore, I mean like you are not feeling full. I mean, excuse me, you're not feeling full. Maksudnya tak kenyang. Hilang je rasa kenyang, makan. Hilang je rasa kenyang, makan. Like you just had lunch, right? So now you're feeling full. Let's say in an hour or so, you're already feeling not as full as you were. Eat more. There's like the best mind cue you should have. You just need to constantly be full and feel full all the time. So that is if you are trying to reach a certain specific goal. And besides eating a lot in that manner, you should also incorporate from where your calories come from. You should have fats from all sorts of fats, the good fats, I mean from oils, from nuts, from every source of, you know, fat from maybe dairy products, from organic, non-organic stuff, all those stuff, from animal and also from plant sources. You must eat in variety. Okay, that's all. Okay, so I guess that is it. So we'll move on to the next slide.
We move on to the next slide. Benefits. Okay, panel Bukharioma. Kita mesti nak tahu benefit pasal macam lose yang kita belajar semua ni. Okay, benefit of losing weight kita ni. So mungkin panel Bukharioma boleh share sedikit tentang benefits of losing weight ni.
Okay, I would like not to take too long because we're already 1 hour lah. Okay, so it's basically just straightforward lah. Supposedly this one is explained by our panel just now, Said Amir, but he's having problem with his line, so I just take over. So when you lose weight, you are instantly increasing in energy levels. How's that? Because you're not expending as much energy than you were when you have more weight. Because when you have more weight, everything from moving from point A to point B, you're using a lot more energy. So you have lowered cholesterol levels. Because people with higher body weight, there are chances that you have higher cholesterol levels. What are cholesterol? Those plaque that sticks on the wall of your heart, which causes high blood pressure and your heart working hard to actually work and pump blood. So right there is you're causing a lot of stress on your heart itself. Then with that, because of lower cholesterol level, you have lower blood pressure. Then because you're lighter, you reduce your aches, pains and inflammation, especially in your joints. You know, running would be easier. Like for me, I myself, this like a body weight that is the lightest maybe in few years I've had, and running has been much more fun. And besides that, it will improve your mobility. Mobility means how, in layman words, it's a bit like flexibility lah, macam flexibility juga. Means you can like move and work around easier than you were when you were overweight. And also by that, you improve your breathing. You won't be gasping air as much as you were when you were unfit and also out of shape. And besides that, you also increase your self-esteem, confidence overall. Yeah, next slide. Ada next slide ke? Finish. Okay.
Finish.
Yeah, so I guess I'll just carry on to some of the questions that is asked by our viewers lah. So this one from Aizuddin Anwar. Sounds familiar, like somewhat like I don't know. So he asked, what if we always skip breakfast? Is it affect us when we want to lose some weight, such as affect our metabolism? Okay, this is actually a controversial question lah sebenarnya kan. Breakfast people say it's very important to how you start your day and affects your overall metabolism for the rest of the day. But it's rather controversial. I wouldn't say don't take breakfast, but it actually dictates how your energy levels are throughout the day. Okay, like how you go throughout the day. But if you skip breakfast, it won't be too bad. In terms of short-term effects, not much. Long-term effects, not too much either. You know, do what feels right for you. Some people, they are good with breakfast, some are not. Do what works for you. You understand yourself better. Yeah. I guess that is all the
So I
questions
hope
there are.
Muhammad Aizil dan Anwar kan boleh faham daripada panel Buka di Rumah. Sebab
It's
banyak
okay, you
mitos
understand.
pasal breakfast ni kan. Okay.
Okay, there's actually one more question from our
Ada
Brody.
dapat baru, ada dapat baru.
Ridwan.
Teng. Okay.
How to know which type of training we need to do to reach our body goals? Training, of course lah. Like you want to increase muscle, you must reduce on the cardio you're doing and increase a lot of resistance training. And in lifting weights, there are numerous other training that you need to do. You know, like maybe some people want to get the best physique and have overall very nice aesthetics and all. Some want to increase strength. Some want to be a more explosive athlete. Some want to go into strongman competition and everything. So that is rather preference of what you want to do. But in terms of how your body composition is, there are those factors, genetic factors, that will actually affect how you perform in those sports itself. So that is a rather complex thing. So it's better to understand what are the things that you want yourself to achieve and how your genetic attributes and accolades would actually transfer and carry over to the sport that you want to excel in. Yeah. Bunyi macam PJF performance sikit. But that's it. Okay.
Okay. Thank you untuk panel, untuk penjelasan daripada panel Buka di Rumah on how to lose weight easy from us. Kita orang semua cakap nak thank you sebab join kita punya live yang tak seberapa tapi boleh kan semua. And jangan lupa isi Google Form. Isi Google Form tu penting, okay? Korang semua kena isi, jangan lupa. And korang dapat rasa dapat berapa banyak ilmu, okay? Komen-komen cakap subscribe, okay tak ada. Nak subscribe ke? Tapi apa pun, harap kita orang semua harap korang faham. And on how to lose weight easy ni korang lebih tahu, lebih kita orang nak create awareness lah tentang apa yang korang tak tahu, apa yang korang muskil. So kita orang panel ni kita orang ingat macam nak bagi pemahaman yang cukup lah. Yang orang kata yang padat, tapi orang kata boleh lah macam tu. Okay. Host kata jangan subscribe channel dia. Jangan subscribe channel Simon dia. Okay, so it's already almost 1 hour. So thank you kepada yang join kita punya live. And panel boleh cakap thank you panel. Thank you kepada panel kita untuk explanation tadi. Mantap. Thank you pada Alif Ilman, kepada Buka di Rumah dan seorang lagi Amir. Kita no comment. Maybe ada a few technical issues. So kita orang habiskan dengan Buka di Rumah. Boleh habiskan?
So to wrap it up, kita baca doa Suratul As dan tasbih kafarah. Subhanallah bihamdi, subhanakallahumma bika asyhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wal 'ashr innal insana lafi khusr illa alladhina amanu wa 'amilus solihat wa tawasaw bil haqq wa tawasaw bis sabr. Thank you guys.
Bye.